So apparently, even though this is one of the things that in my real life we talk about all the time, apparently we've never done this one on the show before. Today we are talking about behavioral momentum. So let's take a look at what our actual definition is. Behavioral momentum is a theory in quantitative analysis of behavior, thank you so much, and is a behavioral metaphor based on physical momentum. It describes the general relation between resistance to change, persistence of behavior, and the rate of reinforcement obtained in a given situation. Ladies and gentlemen, somebody hit me in the head with a mallet and let me sleep, right? What does, I even know what behavioral momentum is, and I don't know what that sentence means. That paragraph means. Okay, this is why we do the jargon, because so often, as you know, whether, if you're new to autism, and you could be a parent, a teacher, a practitioner, or an individual on the spectrum, and an expert says this term to you, and you go, well, I'm not a complete idiot. I, know how to Google things online. I'm going to Google that and say, I want the definition of that. And then you get this pile of steaming, you know what? And what do you do with this? It's like, oh, well, that cleared it all up for me. All right, so that's why we do this. So moving on to our working definition of behavioral momentum. It is starting with easy tasks that are doable and working up to harder tasks. I always say it's like walking in the shallow end of the pool, right? There are some people who think, oh, people don't know how to swim. Let's throw them into the throw them in the deep end and see if they can make it. Well, that's one theory of teaching, right? But behavioral momentum says, hey, if we reinforce somebody, if we have them do something easy that they maybe even already know how to do, and we praise them for it and we give them a reward, they kind of puff up and they're like, hey, I'm a capable person. And then so you move from something that they can do to something a little bit harder, but that they can still do, still within their lexicon, but it takes a little bit more effort. Okay, so we're getting a little bit further into the pool. We reward them for being able to do that. And they're like, hey, I am a capable person. Slowly but surely, so we get to the thing that we want to teach that's a little bit hard, and maybe we're a little bit skittish of it, but if I'm coming at it from a place of, hey, I'm capable, and when I do good stuff, good things happen, we find that it's all a little bit more greased, and we're willing to try. And so there's all kinds of behaviors that if you think about how many times you've used behavioral momentum in your life and not really thought about it, I love it when I see people utilizing this. For instance, let's say you're at a playground. There's so many different ways you could use this, but let's say you're at a playground and there's a child who is really skittish, doesn't want to go up the ladder for the slide, doesn't want to go down the slide. They're nervous about the whole thing, right? So, maybe we don't have them do everything. Maybe we just have them sit on the bottom of the slide and come down just a little bit down the bottom of the slide. And then we pick them up and we twirl them around and go, yay, because they can already do that. And we didn't do all the going up the ladder and being way up high and coming down, right? So we did something that was small. And maybe then we say to them, touch your nose, right? And they touch their nose, yay, like they're able to do it. So then we walk them over and we go, let's just, step up on one step on the ladder. Yay, you did it. We go and do something else for a minute. Then maybe we show them how to do 2 rungs on the ladder. Yay. Maybe we bypass the rest of the rungs on the ladder, put them at the top and have them come down so they get the reward from that. They go, yay. And now they're going again, again, again. So we put them up, have them do it, yay. And then we have them go up 3 rungs on the ladder until we get them to the point where they're like, yay. Now, here's the thing. You might go, well, that sounds a little bit like chaining. And it can be, but here's the deal with behavioral momentum, is that it doesn't have to be something that has to do with the task that you're teaching. It could be anything. So if what I want to teach is shoe tying and the child is really just not in a place where they're like, oh, it's just overwhelming. I can't get my fingers to do it. I can't concentrate. I can't do whatever. Maybe we have them do something that has nothing to do with shoe tying. But so that they see, hey, not only 2 things, they're seeing, hey, not only am I capable, there's stuff I can do. I can't do everything, but there's stuff I can do, and everybody wants to know that. Even a kiddo who's 3 and on the spectrum wants to know, I can do stuff, right? And it also gives us an opportunity to reward them, which reminds them, hey, when I am capable and I do stuff, good stuff happens. We want to make sure that the reward always, when we get to the behavior that we want to have them learn, it's got to be worth it, right? So sometimes you got to up the stakes as you go along with behavioral momentum. But I'll be honest with you, when I meet with therapists to talk to them about what it's like to be a parent, one of the things I talk with them about is getting behavioral momentum going with a parent, because it's so scary, isn't it, you guys that are parents? When, we've had a little bit of parent training and then suddenly they're there with younger, prettier people and they want us to interact with our child and use some, lesson or principle of ABA. And I don't know about you, but like in the beginning, I felt like I would get Tyrannosaurus Rex arms that were here and that I couldn't move, and that my child got octopus arms and legs. It was frightening to me. And I was so afraid I was going to do it wrong. And I felt inept and I felt like a bad parent. And, you just start getting smaller and smaller and smaller. So I always say to therapists, make sure that when you're interacting with parents and you're teaching them how to do something, you use behavioral momentum. Have the parents do something that you know that they can be successful. Because, right, parents, they ask you to do something about that you already know that you know how to do and that your child will do it. And you go, oh, that's right. I am capable of parenting and I have a relationship with my child. And when I say to my child, do this, and my child does, right? And, so that then they say, okay, now we're going to make it a little harder. I'm more willing because I feel capable. This works on all kinds of people. This works on 3-year-olds on the autism spectrum and on 53-year-olds that have children on the spectrum. So I encourage you, make friends with this term, use it in your life. You already are using it, but now use it even more mindfully.